Hello, this is Bryce on the floor coming at you with another tennis improvement video. And today I would like to talk about having a shortened backswing on your forehand and backhand ground stroke. Okay, so a lot of people make the misconception that you want to get your racket all the way back like this when you're winding up for your forehand and your backhand ground stroke. However, we have to think that tennis is all about efficient movement and efficient strokes. So if we're getting our racket all the way back here, that means in order to swing, it takes a lot more time as to opposed to, let's say we just had our racket back here. So once you start to get at a really, really high level, it's going to be really, really difficult to be able to return fast serves or fast returns if your racket's all the way back here. And another thing is this, when you get your racket all the way back, when your strings are facing the back fence like this, it doesn't really give you any power or add any more power than you otherwise would have just getting your racket back to the side like this, okay? So power doesn't come from getting the racket back all the way to the back fence. Power comes from the coil of the waist, okay? So let's say we're setting up for our ground stroke and we get our racket back and then we coil the waist, okay? We're gonna have the same amount of power, if not more, if we simply coil instead of getting the racket back all the way back, okay? All right, so get your power on your ground stroke from the coil of the waist, okay? We say more than sideways to stay sideways, coil that waist, okay? And then accelerate out from the coil like a corkscrew instead of getting the racket back all the way back here, okay? So if you're getting your racket back too far, your ground stroke is always going to plateau. So what we want to do is we want to get our racket back to the side fence, okay, like this, and not to the back fence, okay? You don't want to get your racket back to the back fence, okay? On the forehand side, get your racket back to the side fence, okay, like this, but you don't want to get your racket back to the back fence, not like that, okay? So one way to practice this is using the fence, okay? All right, so basically what we can do is we can do that, we can get into the ready position, of course. All right, racket at the 45-degree angle, we're ready. Do that unit turn, okay? And then we can get our racket back on the fence like this, and then do a shadow swing, for example, okay? Now on the backhand side, we can get our racket back like this, okay, with our racket touching the back fence here, all right? However, it's not all the way back, all right? And we can use the fence as sort of like a reference point to help us with that ground stroke, all right? So use the fence to sort of facilitate, getting the racket back, and then that's going to pay a lot of really, really big dividends for how you swing, okay? You might need to videotape yourself because a lot of times we may think we're doing one thing and we're doing a complete other thing, okay? So those are some tips on the shortened backswing and why to have a shortened backswing. Practice this on the fence, okay? And then you're gonna be able to react to the ball a lot faster than you otherwise would have getting the racket all the way back. This has been Bryce on the floor with another tennis improvement video. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, great luck out there on the tennis court.